one thing that I preach a lot is that finding your purpose once you get out of the military is going to be the hardest thing for you. And honestly, prayer was huge for me, and prayer led me to getting help, getting help that for and I implore anybody, whether you're in the military or not, if you've got issues that you can't identify by yourself, you've got to get help. My therapist is my best friend.
Yeah.
Man, that's my girl.
Sound your 1, 2. Sound your 3, 4. Unfinished.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Unfinished Business, a podcast for veterans pursuing new life missions. When a Marine takes off the uniform, the world gets quiet. No roll call, no sound of boots marching on the ground, no new Marines waiting on his leadership. For Jace Newman, that quiet was in 2019. After 4 years at Camp Pendleton as a machine gun squad leader with the 1st Battalion, 1st Marine Division, the mission ended. The days that followed weren't filled with parades and celebrations. They were filled with silence. The kind of silence that forces you to ask, who am I now? He carried the memories of leadership, of trust, of the creed etched in every Marine. Semper Fidelis, always faithful. But the question lingered, how do you stay faithful when there are no more orders, no clear mission, and no one calling your name? This is the Unfinished Business, a podcast for veterans pursuing new life missions. I'm Rush, and today, Jace Newman takes us inside the silence and what it means to keep serving when the uniform comes off. Jace, brother, it's great to have you on Unfinished Business, a podcast for veterans pursuing new life missions. We've been closely connected through Fellowship Power Lunch, and you've been active in community as a veteran advocate and being being present in environments where other veterans need you the most. And I want to tell you, it's been a long time coming. Your name has always been on the I got to get him in and get him into the Unfinished Business podcast. And I feel so grateful to be spending this time with you today.
I've been waiting, man. I'm glad to be here, Rush. I really appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, as veterans ourselves, we have to unite. We have to bring in, pull each other forward, right, and keep pushing each other to the next level, so that we can achieve our goals and dreams and fill the space that needs to be filled with camaraderie and the things that we miss from being attached to our respective branches, right?
Absolutely. It's nice.
When I was reading your bio that you had sent me, I wanted to ask you, when you were growing up in Brownwood, the uniform meant something big to you. Can you take us back to what being a Marine looked like in your mind then, and how has that meaning changed now that you're out of it? You've lived it.
It's interesting. I'm the first in my family to join the military, and I didn't have any perspective on that whatsoever prior to signing the dotted line. Before joining, I looked at it with selfish intentions, honestly. First, somebody thinking about joining the military for the first time, they think about free college benefits, healthcare, whatever it may be. And those are definitely tools you can keep in your tool belt if you're thinking about joining the military. But looking back on it now, it taught me the exact opposite, actually. So, I mean, now looking back on it now, I have a band of brothers forever. Those guys, no matter how spread out across America we are, I've got veteran brothers here in Texas, California, Wisconsin, Michigan, Cleveland, Ohio, Florida, Boston, you name it. I've got buddies all over the place that would drop a dime and do anything for me. And not only that, but I mean, it all comes down to, we have an annual fantasy football draft we do every year. I just got back from that a couple weeks ago. They're all terrible at fantasy football, but yeah, given that, I mean, it just helps me take them with me everywhere I go, and their willingness to do whatever it takes for me. I take that everywhere I go, and I try to pass that forward anywhere I can.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. That's the same reason I joined college. I thought I needed to get ahead, with from a scholastic standpoint and get some of those essential tools in our toolbox. But I share that meaning with you, the connections that you've made. that are going to be lifelong. You know, it taught you what you really were made of in that particular time, huh? If you look back and you see the camaraderie that you had, what do you appreciate most about that time?
Man, that's such a loaded question. It's so much. It's so much. I mean, what I appreciate the most is looking back on it now is probably the most miserable times I had when I was in the Marine Corps. All the times I say, hey, it's the most fun I never want to have ever again. So some of the most long lasting memories of mine are literally just sitting in a fighting hole that I just spent 18 hours digging with a MRE spoon. Not literally, but like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Might as well be.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And getting 2 hours of sleep at night and just talking with your buddy in the fighting hole. You know, you both have a mission, you both have a purpose of being there, and that I've been able to take the responsibility that was given to me during those times, and I pay that forward any chance I get. So honestly, the short answer to your question is probably the most miserable parts of it. That's what I appreciate the most, which is such a weird answer.
That's such a cool answer too, man, because it is when you're in that foxhole, in that moment where you're, you know, like you did the work to build the bunker, you built the foxhole, and now you got to sit here and endure this suffering, you know. I guess that's I'm gonna save a little bit of that answer for later down the road. As a squad leader at Camp Pendleton, you carried more than a weapon. You carried the lives of young Marines. What did that kind of responsibility feel like day to day, and what lessons come from those years that are still with you now?
Man, I that gave me more purpose than what I ever knew I was searching for. It gave me so much purpose that I had no idea that I was even looking for. You know, from the front porch looking in, it doesn't seem like that would teach you much but you know, being in charge of the welfare of subordinate Marines whenever you go out to the field to train or do whatever you have to do, transporting millions of dollars of equipment from mountain to mountain and making sure that equipment gets from point A to point B, man, it really teaches you a lot about what you could be tasked out to do in the civilian world.
No, I understand where you're coming from. You know, now that you started mentioning some of the things too, you know, it's not just leading. Like there's essential logistics that need to take place, and that security has to be part of that mission, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It helps me take whatever I'm tasked out now. It helps me take that same seriousness. It takes same seriousness into my task that I have to do here in the civilian world.
Yeah, that's like I've sat down with a lot of individuals, a lot of combat veterans, and the one thing that really hit home with me is there's a lot of logistics that need to take place when we're talking about equipment and stuff like that kind of people don't understand that's another tool that you know as a combat veteran in your position that you've had to be responsible for too, not just training people how to shoot a gun, you know, machine gun and that kind of stuff. So
absolutely, some of those things can really cognitively wear on you whenever you're stressing about, hey, do I have this optic? Do I have this? Do I have that? Like if somebody's missing something, like, hey, we better damn find it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So. You've described leaving the Corps as stepping into the silence. What did that silence really sound or feel like for you, and why do you think it can be harder to face than combat itself?
Man,
for combat itself.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, while you're in uniform, you have all of your boys and you have your brothers and sisters in arms to go to for input, and you know, you're training for a life or death situation.
Yeah.
So the people you're going to for input give you that same seriousness. They bear that responsibility on their shoulders whenever they're giving you input, helping you accomplish whatever task you're doing. And getting out, and I come home and I'm operating a skid steer for a construction company, or I'm cleaning horse stalls outside of the town where I go to college, or when I was a bouncer at a concert venue. Nothing against those colleagues that I worked with at those places, but that level of seriousness and trying to help you accomplish those tests, it doesn't transfer. It doesn't transfer whatsoever. So that's something that I had trouble with for a really long time. I just didn't feel that same camaraderie at all, because to put it short, it just don't get it.
Yes.
If you don't get it, you just don't get it.
Yeah, yeah. How much does sacrifice, the common thread of making the sacrifice to enlist, because it is a sacrifice, how much does that play a role in that, the silence, that you have these same people that sacrifice, are making the sacrifice to protect our nation. How much does that play a role in
I mean, the big difference is that nobody else raised their right hand to give their own life for you if the situation presented itself. It all boils down to that.
Yeah.
And just raising your right hand and making that promise to somebody else, that's a service unlike anything anybody could ever provide to me.
Yeah, I could see, I could understand what you're talking about too. A lot of veterans say the military told them exactly who they were, and civilian life didn't. How did that loss of identity show up in your own life, and what did you do to start piecing it back together?
I mean, that issue identified itself hard and fast. It was immediate. And one thing that I preach a lot is that finding your purpose once you get out of the military is going to be the hardest thing for you. And honestly, prayer was huge for me, and prayer led me to getting help, help that for and I implore anybody, whether you're in the military or not, if you've got issues that you can't identify by yourself, you've got to get help. My therapist is my best friend.
Yeah.
Man, that's my girl. And that's really part of how I, overcame that coming out.
Yeah, I understand what part of your identity. It's like, you come out and you're lacking that purpose. I think I said that a while back ago about, like, you don't have a purpose, right? What is one of the purposes that a purpose you have in your life right now, that you've been working on, and that you've been, just putting your time and energy to?
Well, my occupation, for one, I started doing roofing about 6 years ago, and part of finding my purpose was working my way up to a management position to where I could help other contractors be their best, and that kind of gave me some of the same emotions as it did being a squad leader. It's not, we're not training for life or death situations here, but the fact that I have done that before, trained for life or death situations, that helps me, that equips me to take care of those other contractors the best I possibly can.
Yeah.
And another thing is my family. I was away from my family for 4 years, and that's really tough.
Yeah.
So one thing I've been trying to focus on is to focus on my family and enrich my relationship with my family.
Yeah, there is a huge gap when it comes to, you lose a lot of birthdays. If you're an uncle or those kind of things, your relationship kind of you want to piece back together. So that's
I'm single with no kids, but I'm the baby of 7 siblings, and we have 17 nieces and nephews.
Yeah,
it's a lot of responsibility. That's a lot of responsibility. A lot of FaceTime responsibilities whenever you're across the pond.
Yeah, that's very cool. So you shared, you just shared that prayer helped you through the hardest nights after leaving the Corps. Is there a night or moment that really stays with you when faith gave you enough strength? To keep going?
Absolutely. And I'm gonna reiterate it again. I can remember the day where God pointed me in the direction of finding my own help, and like I said, my therapist is my girl. Like, that is one of my best friends. She saved my life. And there's a lot of negative nuance to whenever it comes to counseling. And let me tell you, like, there is nothing wrong with getting outside help to help you identify issues that you can't identify yourself. There's nothing negative about it, and I can't preach that enough.
What do you think when when we talk about counseling and therapy? I always say, what do you think about when I say that don't talk to people that aren't qualified to give you the right information you need to make a good decision? Do you feel that sometimes people depend on other people outside of a licensed clinician that would be able to guide you?
I mean, sure. I mean, it just kind of depends.
Yeah.
It depends on every situation.
Yeah.
I mean, if it reaches a point where I mean, whenever you are, whenever you have anxiety, if you have depression, we're at a point where I was, where you're having trouble finding your purpose, there's something going on cognitively
Yeah.
that just your buddy down the street isn't going to be able to identify.
Mm.
You know, I preach all the time, talk to the people who are close to you, and that's amazing.
Yeah.
But sometimes, man, you're what you said is, you hit the nail right on the head. Sometimes, like, somebody is just not totally qualified to tell you what's going on in your head.
Yeah.
There's a chemical reaction going on in your brain that you need to counteract. Your brain's playing tricks on you, and you need to play tricks on it right back to get you in a different mode so that you can attack your issues.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with that. Yeah, that's how did you finally say, okay, how did you finally say, through prayer, that you started defining your purpose? What were some key things, 2 or 3 things that you did that say, okay, I started prayer, and what else did you do to start narrowing the focus on, your new purpose?
Man, admitting you have a problem, admitting that something is going on that you can't identify, is the biggest part of it. I'm a big supporter of the Tilvat Hall project. 20 veterans kill themselves every day. And, I got to a point where I didn't know, man, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what I was thinking. I didn't know what was going on in here. I had no idea. And, whenever you start playing around with the idea of taking your own life because you just don't know what to do, I mean, that's one of the main things I said in my prayers. God, I don't want to be here anymore, and I don't know why. I don't know what is going on with me. I don't know what's going on with my head. I have no idea what's going on. I'm gonna put this all on you, and please just point me in the right direction. And that's where he took me.
That submission is so important, right?
Yeah.
Just a submission to have in obedience. That's really cool, man.
We want to take that 20 a day. We want to make it 0.
Yes,
I
we
want
do.
to make it 0.
Let's go. Yeah, there's an event that's coming up. I'll have to send you the information. So I have one of my podcasts next week. I'll get the information to you. I don't have it like right in front of me, but they're hosting an event for suicide awareness, and I want to make sure you're plugged into that.
Oh, please do. Absolutely.
I will. Yeah. Okay. Roofing isn't the path most people imagine for a Marine veteran. What was the moment you realized that this wasn't just work? It had become a mission, and how does protecting a home connect in your mind to protecting the squad?
Man, from the front porch looking in, it may sound silly. You're comparing roofing to leading a squad full of Marines, but the way I see it, here, especially nowadays, a home is the biggest thing anybody will ever invest in.
No.
The average American, their biggest investment that they will ever have is their home. And protecting them and their family from the elements is very important. And so, I'm back on the subject of moving around millions of dollars worth of equipment. I don't know if you ever priced out a roof before, but it ain't cheap. Shingles ain't cheap. Felt ain't cheap. None of it's cheap. And so getting that equipment from the distribution yard to in front of the person's home on a pallet to on top of the roof, that kind of it translates a little bit better for me. It translates pretty easy for me. And man, starting roofing 6 years ago, that was really a big point of helping me of finding my purpose again.
Yeah, I think it's so cool, man, the way you make that connection, because it does really resonate with me, because I have insight, I've shared that time, right, with other combat veterans and veterans, period, right? It's like, when you've done that time, you understand the logistics of everything, and I connected with that portion of it, the unique way you represent yourself. And not only that, we both have a lot of Marine friends and brothers that are in roofing, that run roofing businesses, and I find that just so special and unique, that you're still in that grit and that grind and in that sun, and you have I always admire the brotherhood that you see in that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome. Is that part of it, that what you experienced too with the people you work with too?
100%, and especially with where I've landed now with firefighter roofing.
Yeah.
They have a heavy emphasis on helping out veterans, firefighter, police. You know, the owner, Philip Purdue, he was a former 24-year firefighter, and there's a lot of firefighters that work with us part-time as well, and getting to chop it up with those guys is just it's the best. It really is the best, man. There's been Marines and Army veterans come in as well, and there's a couple Army veterans that work with us as well. So just in fact, the Monday and Friday sales meetings, getting to chop it up with those guys, man, it takes me back. It's awesome.
That's so cool, man. That's so cool. It's very rare to find to find that connection afterwards, and to be with a body of your peers with like-minded attitudes and beliefs, and has made the sacrifices, and makes it all the better, man. So
Absolutely.
that's awesome. Semper Fidelis, always faithful. When you look at your life today, from Brownwood to Pendleton to rooftops across Texas, what does that motto mean to you now?
Man, I try to take it everywhere I go with me. You know, I'm no stranger to serving homeowners who are also veterans, and you know, those relationships are so organic. It's so organic, and being able to pay it forward to those guys is so fun. It's awesome. You know, the model always faithful. You know, that it really resonates with me because like I said earlier, like that my band of brothers that I have, we would do anything and everything for each other on a drop of a dime, and that helps me pay that forward to my clients and my network too.
That's awesome, man. Jace, if people want to get a hold of you and need the roof repaired, how can they get a hold of you?
They can call me. My number is 817-408-5557.
And one last thing I'll say, if a Marine Corps veteran is transitioning out of the military and is trying to find a purpose, look at the camera and give the person that might be looking at this some advice.
Well, I just gave you my phone number. You can call me. But one of the biggest things I can say is that finding your purpose is not impossible, and you will find your purpose. Pray on it. If you need help, get the help. If you need to talk to somebody in your close circle, talk to them. But above all, pray. Pray about it. He will point you in the right direction. I promise you.
Man, Jace, brother, it's so awesome to have you on Unfinished Business, a podcast for veterans pursuing new life missions. It's you had a treasure trove of different ways to see things, and I really admire and appreciate that. You know, I always say it's a high, you know, from a higher elevation standpoint. I resonate. I could understand exactly what you were speaking to. So I admire your dedication in the community and the things you're a part of with Fellowship Power Lunch and attending the meetings, and maybe one day we'll get to hear you speak in one of those events. And
oh man, that'd be cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
I think I have to get a little bit of a higher pay grade to get, because man, the speakers they have there, man. Man, I can't speak highly enough of those guys.
And they get you sometimes, man.
Oh man, they really do. They get me teared up, man. Like you say, you saw me taking videos. Sometimes I've videoed the whole thing before, man. It's so powerful. It's so powerful.
It's some moving moments. Well, guys, that's it for Unfinished Business, a podcast for veterans pursuing new life missions. As I always say, have peace and light in you, and remember that the ocean refuses no river.
Sound your 1, 2.